It's time to give this channel the boost it needs. Time we all stop taking ourselves so seriously. I mean, come on, YouTube. What do you got to lose? Except your sanity.
So, the trailer for the Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips Joker movie is finally here. Now, I would have recorded a video on this a lot sooner, but I've just been out for a family day out and everything, and just as I left to go, like, the trailer went up, and that was much earlier than I was expecting. I was expecting more like the time that the April Fool's J trailer for Gotham came out, but okay, that's messed up my time window, but let's do this. Sorry it's late, better late than never, right? Hey, between you and me, do you think I can get this video up before BobaTalks gets his up? We'll see! So right off the bat, there's been a lot of fan speculation for this movie, the sort of roles that people play, like Robert De Niro as a talk show host and everything, and a lot of those rumors and fan speculations and thoughts have been proven correct in this trailer, but there is one thing that was definitely proven wrong, and that was me when I said I had my reservations about this movie and didn't care too much, because that was an excellent trailer. That looks like an awesome movie. First of all, Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. Well, what can I say? Like, why did they not contact this guy in the first place? He plays it really naturally looking at this trailer, and really, really well. His laugh is brilliant, his voice is very sort of layered. It's like that. Just from this trailer alone, I'm seeing a lot of layers to this performance that relate to sort of the guy that's trying to keep it together and the guy that's destined to become the Joker pretty much. And you can really see why going by this trailer, and it's pretty relatable actually, like how downtrodden Arthur Fleck is in this. And it's the story of a downtrodden underdog, but I think if there's one thing they've done right is that they've immediately established that he has a very close, if not perhaps a little too close, sort of relationship with his mother, and now he's also kind of... he's got positive prospects as well, okay? His job as kind of a clown that's waving a sign around and stuff obviously isn't something that's the most dignified job in the world, but he's braving it out, he's giving it his best, and he's being taken for granted and taken advantage of by just strangers and everything, and that's a sucky feeling, and that's something that goes on in the world, and it sucks. And it's like, you know, I think anyone that's worked in sort of the public, like alongside the public and everything, has been taken advantage of several times. Everyone's worn a uniform that they don't want to wear, and I think they are going down a very relatable path with this. And from the looks of things, once again, I must add, Joaquin Phoenix plays this really, really well. He conveys it so well. You see him smiling in a lot of these shots, but you also see a lot of pain in there. But I think the fact that they also included like some positive prospects with him, like his date and, you know, his love for his mother and everything, it really shows that this is a character that has something to lose. And I think that's going to make his downfall, his sort of descent into madness, a much more emotional experience for the audience and for everyone. It's going to make it much more involving. There's just kind of this sense that there's two sides to Arthur Fleck that are kind of battling it out, and we do see him sort of seeking help for himself, you know, sort of seeking psychiatric help and everything, and I do wonder what the backstory behind that is, or if he just feels sort of a sense of inner craziness or something. But it's clear that Arthur Fleck is still kind of clinging on to his sanity and everything. But he himself says, like, is the world getting crazier? And I think that's, you know, I think that's something we've all felt as we've kind of grown up and everything. And I mean, I'm guessing there is going to be some sense of kind of a coming of age kind of feel to this, because we kind of see in this trailer that Arthur Fleck does have some childlike traits to his character, which if anything can be interpreted as innocence, but it's kind of eerie coming from a man of his years, you know? There's the whole thing of him bathing his mother and helping her out and being so close with her and everything, and then there's this bit where he appears to be pulling a child's cheeks, and a lot of us speculate that that's Bruce Wayne, and that's something that is kind of, you know, grossly inappropriate for an adult to do to a kid that's kind of not their own, you know? But, like, it's something that could be kind of well-intentioned, or maybe he just doesn't sort of realize that. But from those things as well as that, I think he's going to be kind of a misunderstood sort of character and everything, you know? We've got the thugs taking his sign from him when he's just trying to do his job. We've got the people attacking him on the train when he's just kind of venting out. And, like, to be honest, the thing is, like, he is doing some disturbing things, even if he's not doing harm. Like, if you see a guy dressed as a clown on the train burst out into a fit of kind of pained, strained laughter, you'd certainly be concerned. And if you're in the wrong part of the wrong town, and which I think Gotham basically is, we'll put it this way, you probably wouldn't have the best time with the response that you get from the public, you know? And that's the sense that I sort of get from Arthur Fleck, is that he's a very, very troubled guy that is trying to be sort of Mr. Entertainer and everything, and he wants to be loved and appreciated just like anyone else, but the world just keeps biting him back in the way that the world kind of does. And I think that's also kind of a timeless message as well. That was one thing I was quite worried about, was this film getting caught up in sort of a post-Trump hysteria because of the original plan to cast Alec Baldwin as a Thomas Wayne that's inspired by Donald Trump. And like, obviously Alec Baldwin's not playing the role, but no kind of Trump-like behavior came across in this trailer anyway, which has put my concerns to bed that this would attempt to be kind of a political or politically inspired movie. And that's a good thing for me, because it still seems to maintain a sort of a very personal story for Arthur Fleck. But we've also noticed there's a shot where he appears to be walking into a spotlight on the show hosted by Robert De Niro. And perhaps, you know, maybe this is him sort of gaining his fame and everything. I did mention in my previous video talking about this movie that I thought it would be great if the film were kind of structured like Look Who's Back, which is a German film about Hitler raising from the dead and everything. And he's not taken seriously at first, but then he becomes kind of an entertainer, and then he kind of gets a stranglehold on society and everything, and kind of history repeats itself a little bit. And looking at this trailer and that whole scene where he sort of walks out into the spotlight on what looks like Robert De Niro's show and everything really made me think a lot about the sequence in Look Who's Back when Hitler first steps out on a talk show and, you know, he starts sort of spreading his message and everything. And I think that could be maybe the kind of film that we're in for here. And if that's the case, that is very, very good news. If that's the case, I'm thrilled. And that's something I'll certainly say. I am very, very pleased with this trailer. And do I think they're going to go down the comic book route of the Joker? Not really. I think they've kind of made a point in setting this in kind of a sort of a dark reality sort of thing. It's not as kooky as Gotham. You can see immediately from the opening shot of Gotham City that this is a more down-to-earth sort of city and everything. It's got its crime and everything, but it's definitely more based in reality than Gotham ever was, where it's a much more fantastical vision. So I can't see this character fighting it out or anything in a chemical plant and then getting his skin bleached and then getting the signature Joker look. But I think we'll get something kind of close to that, like what we have actually, which, you know, I think everyone assumed it was kind of a preliminary sort of look when we first saw it. But I don't know where this story could be going, because obviously it's set outside the DC Extended Universe, so it's not the kind of thing that needs mileage. But it looks like this Joker is on path to a suicide, to be honest, and that looks like it's going to be a very, very emotionally engaging story. And I think also very potentially timelessly relevant as well, as mental health issues and everything are something that have always been really a big issue and everything. And we see a bit where he's sort of scrolling down potential jokes to tell for his stand-up act and everything. And we have established that he's a stand-up enthusiast, so once again, fan speculation was correct about that. There's a point where his writing goes to sort of a scroll where he says, like, the problem with having a mental illness is that people expect you to behave as if you don't. I think that's the thing, is throughout this story, Arthur Fleck is trying to behave as he's expected to behave, as kind of an adult, as a kind of responsible man, but he just wants to make the world laugh and everything, but he's noticing that the world has gone a bit nuts. He's experiencing the worst of it, so he's kind of getting himself in on the joke, and it really does kind of throw back a little bit to the Joker's monologue at the end of The Killing Joke, where he's just like, the whole world is a joke, so there's no reason to not laugh at it, you know. And I think that's the whole thing, is now he's going to become the Joker as a means of entertaining a much darker and more cruel world. And the idea that the Joker's origin in this is that he is very much the manifestation of the underworld and the discontent of Gotham City. Like, Gotham as a city created the Joker because of its lack of understanding of this one outcast person. And I think that has the potential to be a really, really dang good story. And I'm hoping we get some scenes of violence as well. We haven't really seen the Joker do anything violent yet, but what we do get from this trailer is a very triumphant vibe by the time he actually does become the Joker. But as I say, I like the fact that they've, as well as, you know, all the torment that he goes through, they've established that he does have some things to fight for, such as a close personal relationship with his mother and a potential girlfriend as portrayed by Zazie Beetz. It's kind of horribly poetic almost that, like, the Joker is kind of a punishment upon Gotham City but a reward for Arthur Fleck. And I think that's a really great angle to go by. Like, I've never been the biggest fan of the idea of the Joker having an origin story, but I think this is kind of it's kind of a tragic backstory where it's like he could go one of two ways and everything, and I really hope that's what they're doing here. But immediately, just from this trailer alone, Arthur Fleck looks like a seriously engaging character, and that is a very positive thing, because the Joker is like, it can be perhaps a bit of a challenge to make a proper functioning, interesting and engaging character out of someone so psychotic and sadistic and unsympathetic as the Joker. So the angle that they've gone for with this origin sounds like a good way for the Joker to sort of carry the movie by himself. But I think this is made not with the idea in mind that this Joker is the one that will go on to fight Batman or anything, because obviously he would be quite old by the time the young Bruce does become Batman. I also thought the musical choice of, like, Smile Though Your Heart Is Breaking and everything, really, really prevalent choice and everything. Like, man, it's just, it goes so well with this shot where, like, Joaquin Phoenix is just holding a smile into place with his fingers, and he seems to be really forcing himself, and he lets go and it just drops, and he just looks devastated. And that's incredible acting from Joaquin Phoenix. I think this guy has the potential to be a definitive film Joker, and I mean that. Like, Heath Ledger was fantastic, he was phenomenal, but I think this performance just looks like it could be right up there with it. I think, man, why did they not invite Joaquin Phoenix to play the role in the DC Extended Universe? You know, like, I would love to see him take on the iconic sort of Joker that will go up against Batman. But at the same time, this looks like just a dang good standalone film, and it really does look like, not that they're trying to bait an Oscar, but like that this film could be the kind of thing that would maybe win an Oscar. But I can't really imagine it getting the recognition it deserves, because people probably just scoff at it and say, oh, it's just another Warner Brothers DC movie, or, you know, who cares? Also, one thing I've always kind of said is that DC films have amazing cinematography, and this is no exception. This looks, you know, I think this is one of the best looking trailers that they've produced since, like, maybe Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. Very different look, much more like a hard sort of urban look, but it looks great. This, I think, and I mean what I say here, I think we could be in for a potential classic. I don't know, but I think the fact that they're making just a movie that's more inspired by a character from Batman's mythos and not making one that's utterly wrapped up in mythos and everything has kind of unlocked the potential to make a really great character study sort of a movie, you know? And, you know, I kind of had a sort of a I'll believe it when I see it kind of mentality and everything. I was kind of excited when I heard that Martin Scorsese was involved, but then he was no longer involved, and I was like, oh great, he's not involved, I'm gonna kill myself. But, like, this trailer was a big reassurance. I mean, it looks like a Martin Scorsese movie. That's the really exciting thing. But just like the directing, the acting, everything about this trailer looks so promising. Like, so promising. Like, this is one of the most promising looking movies DC has produced since Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. And maybe you didn't like that movie, but you can't deny that the promotional material for it looked so good. Like, so good. So I'm really hoping that the film, you know, the outcome is as good as this trailer, and I think they've got great talent involved. And what can I say, really? Like, this is going to be great. This is going to be one to remember from the looks of things. If it's anything like this trailer, hopefully it doesn't disappoint. I'll try and get more updates as they come along on this channel, and I'll try and get them quicker than I did in this case. Apologies for that. So what do you guys think of the trailer? If I think of more things to say about it, actually, I will produce another video. Don't think this is it, because I'll probably have more to say later on. But overall, what do you guys think of the trailer? Did you enjoy it? What do you like so much about it? What don't you like about it? What do you have your doubts about? Comment below and discuss. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a great day.